Lesson 4-1, Multiplying Decimals by Whole Numbers. The main idea of this lesson is to be able to find the product of decimals and whole numbers. So here's our first example. 14.2 times 6. Since when you multiply numbers, it doesn't matter what order you put them in, you're always going to get the same answer. It kind of makes our life a little bit easier when we're multiplying, like this. So what you usually want to have is one number on the top multiplied by some number on the bottom. And you usually want to put the number with the fewer numbers in it on the bottom. So in other words, this 14.2 has 3 numbers in it, and 6 has 1 number in it. So we want to put the 6 on the bottom. And we're going to end up multiplying this vertically. So I'll write 14.2 up here on the top times, and here I have 6 on the bottom. And now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to multiply the 6 times each of these numbers. 6 times 2 is 12. So the 2 is going to go here and I'm going to carry the 1. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. So I'm going to put the 5 down here and carry the 2. And 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. Now we need to figure out where the decimal point is going to go. We're going to look back up here in our example and we're going to count how many numbers are to the right of the decimal point. Well, there's one number right here that's to the right of the decimal point, and there are no numbers down here to the right of the decimal point. So I'm going to go to my answer here, and I'm going to start on the right hand side and I'm going to count to the left one spot, and that is where the decimal point is going to go. So the answer ends up being 85.2. So let me review with you how I figured out where the decimal point is going to go. I looked at the numbers that I multiplied and I counted all the numbers that are to the right of the decimal, or in other words, all the numbers that are decimals. And we only have this one right here. So that means if the decimal point was at the end of our answer here, we're going to move it over one spot and put it right there. Let's try another one. We have 9 times 0.83. So remember I told you it didn't matter what order we put these numbers in, we're still going to get the same answer. And we want the number with the most numbers in it on the top and the number with the fewest numbers on the bottom. So that means I want to put this 0.83 first because it has 3 numbers in it, whereas the 9 just has 1. And I'm going to multiply that times 9. Notice when I'm writing these, I'm lining them up. I'm lining up my numbers. I'm not lining up the decimal points like when you add or subtract. I'm just lining up my numbers. Now I'm going to go through and multiply. 8 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to put the 2 here and the 7 down here. 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 2 is 74. So I'm going to put a 4 here and carry the 7. And 9 times 0 is 0, plus 7 is 7. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to count all my numbers that are decimals, that are to the right of the decimal point. We have 2 right here and we have none here. So that means I'm going to start at the end of my number and I'm going to count over those 2 spots. 1, 2. And the decimal point is going to go right here. So our answer is 7.47. I have one more example to go over with you. 2 times 0.018. So remember, it doesn't matter what order we put them in. You want to put the number with the most number of numbers on the top and the fewest number of numbers on the bottom. So this one has 4 numbers in it and this one only has 1. So I'm going to put 0.018 on the top and I'm going to put the 2 on the bottom. And now we're going to go through and multiply. 2 times 8 is 16, so I'm going to put the 1 here, the 6 down here. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. And now we're going to go back and we're going to count how many numbers are to the right of the decimal point. And we have 1, 2, 3 here, and none here. So I'm going to start at the end of my answer here, and I'm going to move over 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. So the decimal point is going to go right here. And there's our answer. That's everything there is to multiplying decimals and whole numbers together. Remember, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. You want to put the number with the most number of numbers on top and the fewest number of numbers on the bottom. You're going to go through and multiply, and then you're going to count up how many numbers are to the right of the decimal point, and that's going to tell you how far over you need to move the decimal point in your answer.